Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 30 of the Big Apple Battle and New York Baseball Podcast. And I don't know where to start, Ed. As a Mets fan, this is hard for me to even hop on and talk. I have a lot I need to say. My thoughts are all jumbled. I don't know the feelings and emotions that I'm feeling. Is it pain? Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Is it sadness? Maybe a little bit of everything. But Ed, I'm just happy to be back here with you, man. Complete different boats in terms of team's performance. From Queens to the Bronx, nearly a fifth of the way through the season. I'm sure you're feeling okay, but me, on the other hand, I am fighting demons here.
Yeah, you absolutely are. Different kinds of demons. You might need some kind of confession. I don't know what it is. An exorcism at City Field, Spirit
Mm.
Halloween coming for your building much too soon to stay in the theme. But yeah, man, you saying a fifth of the way through the season, I shudder to hear that. I hate hearing any kind of like fractional breakdown of the season, only because it feels like it'll be gone before you know it when it's done like that. You know what I mean? Like a month of the season, you're like, all right, it's a month. But like a fifth, man, that just sounds. It's over. It's over already, man. It's almost football season
Well,
now.
we've been done. I mean, like, well, it's funny you mentioned the exorcism thing because I don't know if you probably didn't see it, but it was during the middle of the 12-game losing streak. We'll get into all that good stuff. Can't wait. But Steve Gelbs is outside of City Field with a bunch of fans back on the homestand after they left the road trip without a win, obviously. Come back on the homestand to eventually get swept by the Rockies, by the way. And Steve Gelbs was out there doing a fucking what's it called? What are those things called? The
Oh, saging.
yeah,
He's saging the
saging,
place.
saging the plays, trying to do all these things, and they were doing voodoo in the broadcast booth with Gary and Ron. Like we know baseball is a superstitious sport, so I was all about it. But it's funny because Gelbs is doing the saging, and this kid's behind him like coughing his lungs out, like it's the wind's blowing in his face.
It's typical Mets. Like it is truly entertaining to find new ways of shocking people, right? And even with like the broadcast, I think that's what makes the broadcast so good, is that you
Mm.
don't have to be buttoned up when you have a team that you want people to have some kind of attention being paid to. Like, all right, have fun in the broadcast. Like, you might as well, right? Be goofy, be silly, do these silly. Like, you have something to bring them back. As
Yeah,
long as it's not Grimace, I think it's great.
I, I mean, we need Grimace, we need Jose Iglesias, we need everyone from the 2024 Mets. We'll bring back Eduardo Escobar, wherever the hell he is hiding right now. Like, bring back everybody. Bring back Asdrubal Cabrera. I don't give a shit. Maybe Kaz Matsui while you're at it.
My
All I'm
God,
saying is
that does feel like 5 years ago now.
crazy, right? But I will say, I gotta say a few things. I want to talk Yankees and Mets, of course. I'll pass it your way, but I want to ask you a question after I go on this little rant because
After you go on this little rant.
yeah, it's not a rant. It's more so facts. The first thing that pisses me off the most out of everything, as you
Tell us how
know,
you really feel, Alec.
Alex Cora was let go and relieved of his duties as a Red Sox manager, as well as Rob Thompson with the Phillies after their slow start. I guess I'll ask this question first. I'll have another question after my follow up rant. Why the hell or how the hell does Carlos Mendoza still a job? And before I have you answer that, David Stern, sure, everyone's criticizing him for the team put together. On paper, we were ecstatic with the roster that he put together.
You, the fan, were ecstatic. Sure. A lot of people outside of you, the fans, being ecstatic were like, this doesn't look like it's going to add up really that well. You can't really force all these pieces onto a new roster and
Well,
expect it to gel fast.
I agree now, obviously,
Well,
but but
well,
the
okay. So I'm saying, is it really like we knew this would work? David Stearns was right; it was going to work, and then it didn't work, and we're like, oh, why didn't it work? Shouldn't your GM kind of know more than the fans if this is going to work, even if it's on paper versus like in reality?
yeah,
You
but
know,
let me
like
yeah.
Mendoza got you there in 2024. He got you there in his first year after an abysmal 2023 that fired Buck Showalter, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Mendoza brings the clubhouse together. He has no problems, right? Everything seems kumbaya as fuck, right? Lindor had no problem with Nimmo, and Lindor had no problem with Jeff McNeil. Like all that was seemingly cool and simpatico, right? The second Juan Soto decides to become, a Met, everything starts to go a little bit awry. Personalities are a little concerning. Do we need star power? Oh, now we're star hungry. Like we
Mm.
got Juan Soto, we could get more. And we have talent and money, and we have David Stearns who can do this job and build something from nothing. And then all you got to do is add money to David Stearns, and you're gonna have the best thing
But
ever.
you're telling me
Which
on paper, Ed, those players historically, and sure, some of them are on the other side of that plateau in terms of performance peak, right? Like a Marcus Simeon, I think is completely on the downtrend. Obviously, we knew that, and it's clearly showing this year. Jorge Polanco barely played; he's hurt on the IL, also downturn. Luis Robert, I was confident in his rejuvenation. Showed it the first maybe week of the season, fell off. Now he's potentially leading to an IL stint. Francisco Lindor, that's our guy, that's our captain. Soto comes back, he goes down. Soto's still hurt, can't even play the field. He's DHing. So all the star power you got, it's struggling. Then Bo Bichette, Mr. Clutch, Mr. Toronto Blue Jay, Mr. Clubhouse personality. What is he doing? He's gonna opt out after the season, and then you're gonna be left fucking holding the bag. Like,
Is he going to opt out? Is he having that good a performance? Because if I'm Bo Bichette, I'm stealing 120 million from Stevie, and I'm performing as averagely as I expected him to perform now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't
why
even know what
would
I
you go
want.
seek a better contract? Right? You don't want him, right? You
No,
don't
I
want
do. It's too early to say I don't want Boba Bichette. I mean,
you want
different for
120
some
million
guys, but
dollars locked in a guy who doesn't play who's playing out of position, who's again got an out for every year, right? Like I don't know. I feel as though I'm the one ranting now because I feel like how do you not see all of this
no,
like
I
from the
do.
get-go being kind
I
of a
hear you. I
disaster?
hear. I
You know
guess
what I mean? Yeah.
it's because I'm trying to defend what I saw prior to what I'm seeing now, which is on
Yeah.
paper, I saw the opportunity, but also there was part of me, sure, I'm an optimistic Mets fan at the core, as you know. But that's why I didn't admit it at the time. But obviously, there is part of me that does feel or did feel there was going to be a morale or clubhouse issue because it's all stars, all people who have come in for maybe opt-out deals, 1 year, larger contracts, all these things, no more homegrown talent with an Alonso, a McNeil, and a Nimmo. Not no more, but less than. And a lot of times it's ISO ball, right? It's like the new wave of NBA basketball. It's ISO ball, right? And
Hmm.
it's players trying to perform their best and they're pressing too much and they're trying to hit the home run. They're trying to do too much. They're not playing as a team. They're cocky. They're arrogant. And you kind of feel it and you kind of see it. And it sucks because, like, I still believe there's a lot of talent on this team. And also, again, like, I have a lot to rant about, but like the Beatty, Alvarez, and Vientos combo, when are we done with that? I love Brett Beatty since the get-go. You know that. I have his rookie card.
What are
PSA
you
graded 10.
saying? The baby Mets? What? I thought
They were
these
the
were
baby Mets fucking 6 years ago, Ed. Why are they still and Alvarez, different story. He's still young. He's actually doing okay, mind you. But Brett Beatty has no business playing right field, playing left field, playing first base, playing third base. You don't have he doesn't he's not Jeff McNeil. He didn't win a batting title. Jeff McNeil, sure, at the end of his career and the end of his time as a Met, bad taste in my mouth, as you know, that whole backstory. But Jeff McNeil at the core was a good baseball player and a good utility player. And
and he's had okay stints with Oakland so far or Sacramento, right? Like I think he's
yeah, he
played
beat us
decent.
up. He had a game-winning hit against us, or a few good hits against us. And I just don't know how, like, if you're looking at depth, right, to fill the void of guys who go down, like a Polanco or a Robert or a Lindor, you're filling it with guys that haven't proven shit to you for 5, 6 years now that you keep banking on and relying. Like Ronnie Mauricio's backup. You re-signed Tommy Pham, who literally didn't get a hit. Now you DFA the guy. He's a toxic clubhouse presence anyway, in my opinion. He looks like an asshole. And like
Well, now you can have Randall Grichuk. He's just been designated for assignment. So there you go. Another
same
capstone.
thing. Like we got Austin Slater. What the hell is he the savior? Or like what is Austin Slater doing?
It's also interesting as far as the mentals go for that clubhouse right now, because if you look at like what's going on with the guys that were traded and to get rid of, right? Like they got new starts, right? They're actually out from under the thumb and the magnifying glass of New York, right? So you see today I was watching your guy Brandon Nimmo, right? With the Rangers. He left with a hamstring injury, go figure. But having a pretty resurgent season up until that point. Again, we get why they had frustrations with him to begin with, but
Hmm.
the point being, he's, hitting to the tune of an 870 OPS right now, like relatively good leadoff hitter for them, 4 home runs, right? But the guys that you brought in, as you mentioned, you were looking forward to rejuvenation projects in Luis Robert, right? Your word,
That's the thing.
rejuvenation. You shouldn't be worried about rejuvenated players. You shouldn't be worried about finding that spark again, right? Like those are nice moves for a team that's already humming, right? The Dodgers could bring in a guy like that and that would work out. The Yankees of the 90s and early
Mm.
2000s could do that and it would work out. You guys have now caught in between. The Mets are now caught fully in between as far as I can see it, right? You want to be the Yankees and the Dodgers or have that same mentality because you're spending the money, you got the big stars, you are that legitimate market now. You are that legitimate team as far as the outside world sees and maybe free agents want to come to you and you could be the show on Broadway, right? But now the problem is you thought you were there and then you fucked it and then you brought him back. Like
Well,
it
and you
was
overpaid on the wrong free agents, in my opinion.
right. Grant, exactly. So that said, what was the game plan? And we talked about it in the first episode or just before the season. The fail safe sort of like abort mission kind of like trigger or like break in case of emergency glass thing. They have that operation in place, it feels like, where they're like, okay, 1 year deal for Bichette or 3 year deal with three opt-outs, 1 year deal for Peralta, no extension yet. Right? There's no extension as far as I'm aware with Peralta.
No, not yet. I don't see
All,
him. He's not even pitching that well, to be
right?
honest.
Semyon at the end of the deal, like all kinds of things. But what is the move after this? And if they don't see Mendoza or Stearns being the guys that can build that future, like beyond this particular crop that could be gone within a year or two,
Hmm.
then yeah, you should move forward or move on. But how can you blame Mendoza? How can you? Like at this juncture, it's impossible. Like this is in no way his fault. What
No,
he inherited,
you're
you know?
right. You're right in a sense, but I
And even
also
last year, the pitching staff, remember what they did to the pitching staff? Like they gutted it and then brought in a couple of chance guys.
but you
And now
see
you're doing that
Mendoza,
all over.
but the problem with Mendoza is he doesn't have, at least seemingly, it doesn't look like when you look at him, he looks blank and staring into space. It's like he looks lost. Like he doesn't have a solution. And you want a manager who's going to come and maybe light a fire somehow, some way. And also, sometimes it's a scapegoat situation, right? Where unfortunately he
Yeah,
might
yeah.
have to go to light that fire, which is shitty. But then you bring in David Wright or a Beltran. I would love David Wright as a manager, as you know. But like,
It would be cool for Beltran to finally get that opportunity back.
yeah, and it's just sad because yes, it's bad, but we didn't expect. Come on, no one expected this bad. We are last in the league in average slugging, OPS, on base percentage. Our best hitter is Bo Bichette with a 234 batting average, outside of Juan Soto, but who hasn't had enough plate appearances to really account for, in my opinion. Sorry, Bo Bichette's one of our best hitters. I think I was looking at an old stat here. Bear with me, but
I
it's
mean,
still not.
probably is still one of your better hitters, I'd
Either
imagine.
way,
Yeah.
what the hell? What am I reading off? I don't need to read off 250 and 235. Like the point is, they're not
Not
doing
not a fifth of the way through the season, at
like
least.
the quick run through. You lose 12 in a row. You come home, you think it's going to change. You sage the place. You get swept by the Rockies in a disgusting way with a doubleheader where you score one run on Sunday, where I took a nap on the couch watching this game. And mind you, watching every game, I watch most games, watching every loss, that's going to take such a toll on your fucking mental health, man. I'm grateful I was away in Charlotte and I couldn't watch a lot of these games because I was in the midst of the losing streak. They didn't win a game when I was away in Charlotte from Tuesday to Sunday. They didn't win a damn game, obviously. They've lost 15 to 17, no bounce back, no response, zero fight. And that's on Mendoza, the fight, in my opinion. 10 out of 10 wins, 19 losses. In my opinion, it's not a slump. It's starting to be who they are, and that's what's concerning. And the biggest issue is obviously the Braves, of course, happen to be the best team in baseball right now. So there's already a massive gap in the division. So that's a problem. And every series, for whatever reason, feels like it's over before it starts. Our offense disappears nightly. We can't hit. This is leading me to my question, my little rant here, because I'm gonna get to my question to you, because this is what pisses me off the most about the Mets over my whole lifetime. Um, the offense disappears nightly. And I've said this last year. I said this every year. I've talked to you about this before we started the podcast. They can't hit with runners on. There's no timely knocks. It's always pressing. For whatever reason, man on third, one out the past 15 years, they can't get a run in. I just don't understand the MO and what's in their DNA in Queens and like starting pitching. Can't stop the bleeding. Early deficits every night. Bullpen is lagging. Nolan McLean looks great. He's the next Jacob deGrom. Can't score for the guy. The stars aren't carrying the team, and you need the leaders the most. Like you need a Soto right now. You need a Boba. Sure, they won 8-0 last night. Maybe they'll win tonight. Cool. You need 10 in a row. You need something. You need momentum, and there is zero momentum. Every time it feels like they'll turn it around, it gets worse. The fundamentals are awful. Bad at bats, sloppy defense, no situational baseball, bonehead plays. That's on Mendoza, in my opinion, and all those other idiots who sit next to him with their fucking iPads out. And fans were sold a contender with expectations on a potential World Series opportunity, right? So at what point is there accountability not only on obviously Stearns, but the coaches, the players, really everyone, because the season feels like it's on life support. Again, we're a fifth of the way through. So my question to you after that, why does it feel like the Mets MO, no matter who's on the roster, who's coaching the team, who owns the team, it just feels like they play the same brand of baseball always. Does that make sense? Like it's always like shooting yourself in the fucking foot. It's always not hitting with the runners and scoring. It's always it's always striking out with the bases loaded and no outs. Like it's the same shit.
I
Are we
I think
cursed?
yeah, I always look for the answer and I feel like I have the answer, but I know that it's just going to be a theory, not the answer. And I think it's what they've always done. And I've watched this and I will look for patterns. And I don't know if it's how all of baseball works. I think that the good and great franchises do not do this,
Mm.
but it's harder to find. So what I find with the Yankees is that they are just consistent all around, consistently frustrating, consistently good, consistently, coming up short, whatever it might be, just consistent. Like everything about them is like just the epitome of consistency. Okay. Even if you say, like, hey, man, abandon this approach because you'll win. Nope, because we're consistent. We do this. Why has Cashman been there for 30 years? Why have there only been three managers in 30 years? Why
Mm.
has the same PR guy existed for 30 years? Like literally, the front office from top to bottom has not changed largely for 30 years. That said, I know that's an impossible thing to like do and just say, hey, do that, right? Because you got to get the formula right at some point. But you also have to be willing to accept that this year, for example, and fans aren't going to like this. I say this year, you just let it be, run it out. This is the team you got.
I
I don't
agree.
say I don't say go out and like deal everything from now on, right? But I also don't say give up on your manager, right? I don't think that's what's going to do it. I don't think suddenly you're going to bounce back from having, a team full of 600 OPS guys and lower to now miraculously we can hit with runners in scoring position. It's all going to be great. Like I don't think so, right? The Red Sox fired Cora and they scored 17 runs that day, the day that he was still there.
Yeah,
They
it's just
fired.
coincidence at that point.
Right. So at some point, you have to just say, are we committed to this plan? What is the long-term plan? Stearns hasn't told us. Stearns maybe has told Cohen. And if he has, like, great. And then he has faith in them, then you stick with that guy as long as you can, or as long as it seems like this plan is going to be back on track, right? And that takes good leadership. Steve Cohen, I don't know. He's a money guy. Money guys cut people as quickly as they can. I know they have trusted advisors that they stick with for a long term, but
Mm.
they go with the winds of change, right? And I know this is like kind of a long-winded, weird response that has almost nothing to do with baseball, but it's more the human element of the game. It's what do you look for? Stability. You look for people you can trust and rely on for things. When you're redoing your coaching staff, you're redoing your training staff, you're redoing your front office every year in search of just getting a little better or getting a little more notoriety or popularity or being seen, right? What do the Yankees not care about, man? They don't give a shit about being seen. They do. We sell tickets. We're in the business of selling tickets. But they don't even have their own, like, for the longest time, they didn't have their own social media people. They didn't care. We're the Yankees. You're going to come see us because we're going to do what we do best, which is focus on this silly product that you come to watch for 81 games a year in the South Bronx.
So are you saying the Mets are trying just too hard?
I think in everything we talked about it last year. Yeah, I do. I think that every time that there's something new and shiny, let's get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's get
it's
that.
too
And
much. Yeah.
and we need every big thing, and we need a superstar team and a talented, star-studded. Everybody's got to be a superstar and have that pedigree. I think that only goes so far. It's like I told you with the Yankees when they started to go to shit back in the 2000s is when they started doing that. Let's get A-Rod. Let's get Gary Sheffield. Let's get all these guys who are like kind of, could be clubhouse problems, could be in their prime, but also some of them are like a little past their prime, but we could get a little rejuvenation out of them. That's going to go well. And it does. It works for like a year or two. And then something kind of festers and goes to
Mm.
shit. And then at some point you're going through the doldrums and it's like the Yankees were never in the doldrums, but they were just kind of average for a good 6 years at some point because they didn't want to give up on certain guys or they would go too much for, oh, this is a quick fix, this is a quick fix. And it's almost like you're not giving up on what needs to be given up on. So I appreciate what the Mets tried to do this year, which was saying, oh, get rid of the bad people from the clubhouse, right? And let's plug in those holes and let's see how this works. I think the problem with that was they didn't fill the holes with like pure character guys necessarily. That's not true. People like Jorge Polanco. People like Marcus
Yeah, but
Semien.
also they're not reliable ball players. Like again, like you said,
Right.
you spent all this money, and now you're batting MJ Melendez third, and you have Brett Beatty fourth, and you had fucking Jared Young batting third on opening day. Like, so you're spending all this money.
So your depth is more fucked on top of that,
Yeah,
right?
because you know who the depth is, the baby Mets. Like that whole crappy situation. Like bring in the new baby Mets, bring in the AJ Ewings of the world, bring in the Ryan Cliffords, bring in the guys who are down there who are raking. Like I don't know what to tell you. We got rid of Jet Williams, for Freddie Peralta, who's completely average. Like,
And you made this point, like maybe you get rid of them, but it's a hard thing to do because again, you invested so much time promoting these guys, right? The Yankees did this a few years ago. They gave up on Gary Sanchez. They let Glaber walk the other year, right? That Luis Severino they let go, and it all just happened at like that. And suddenly that era was over. We moved on, and we were kind of in this sort of in between no man's land. It felt like for not that we weren't good, but it felt like we were just like, what are we doing? There was a podcast you and I talked about this. I was like, what happened to a team just being together for like 3 or 4 years?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then like augmenting with a piece here and there, right? I think the Mets just might be in that 2 year stretch where it's like, okay, this has got to work itself out naturally, and we'll see who fits here, and then the rest we're gonna have to just shed and like start not over, but sort of again shrewdly decide when's it time to cut ties and say change the scenery time,
Well, it
guys.
reminds
Like we got
me,
to do something different.
to your point, and that's a really good response and answer. I do appreciate the depth that you went in there, but I will say it reminds me similar to 2023, right? Where Buck Showalter, you know, ended up that was the last year managing the Mets. And at the deadline, that's when you parted ways with Verlander and Scherzer and that whole thing after a strong 2020. Do I have my years mixed up? No, that was after a strong 2022 season where they won 100 plus games. Wait, am I mixing up my seasons?
No, 22 was good, 23 was bad, 24 was good,
Great. Yeah, 24 was that
25
was
was
that was one of my
yeah.
favorite Mets seasons in a long time, honestly, obviously. But
You're on a roller coaster trajectory over the last 4 or 5.
yeah, and yeah, so that was the season. I remember like that's what they did. They wrote it out, right? They got rid of those guys for prospects, for opportunity in the future, still put a relatively competitive team on the field to have a chance at making the wild card. I know that at the end of the year, I'm watching in August, you're 7 games out, whatever. You're still watching because there's a chance, but the roster's falling apart. You got rid of the guys and Verlander and Scherzer and all the other guys you brought in. And yeah, I see that happening here to your point. Like I keep saying I want Mendoza fired, but also at the same time, like it's still too early. Like let it play out and then maybe you see where you're at come, June, right? And then from there, at that point, you still might let it play out through the All-Star break and through the trade deadline, and then you know who you got to part ways with at the time, who you're going to get rid of.
Yeah, and maybe this leads to a really creative trade deadline, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I do think Carson Benj is up too soon, right? I think you have a depth issue. You have guys that you can't necessarily go back to and be like, hey, who are we going to rely on to like fill in this spot? Juan Soto, right? Like playing left field. When he's out, you're even less. Like, there's no one you're going. Again, you brought up bringing up Tommy Pham. I just sort of feel like if you rejig mostly that bench, you might have a better situation. Like I know they like Tyrone Taylor for his defense, but like, come
Like,
on.
why is he still there? That's what I'm
You're
saying.
right.
These guys are still spots on the roster year after year.
Right. And again, that's at some point you have to just say, I know you're a good character guy. Maybe you're not a bad piece to have and you're flexible and you're versatile in the infield, but there's a lot of talent in baseball. There's a lot of talent that they're probably not exploring at the minor league level that needs to be explored a little better.
Yes. Well, why is Tyrone Taylor batting fifth?
Right. And that this is
Like,
coming from a guy who's not watching them every night, so I can't even tell what the frustrations are as a fan, and I can't imagine what there are.
yeah,
Um, like, I guess what I'm going to ask you now and turn it back on you quickly,
please.
before we talk any, good things about New York baseball right now.
Hmm.
Um, what would you do now if you were a manager?
What would
What
I
would you do
do?
now? What would you do now? Like, what would be your thing, right? Because you're saying you don't want to blame Mendoza, but you kind of do.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
So what are you doing?
Step one, I'm calling a team meeting. I haven't heard about any of that being
Okay.
done. Makes no
Right.
sense. I'm
Right.
calling a team meeting after the road trip is done where you haven't won a game before you get swept by the Rockies.
Okay.
It's team meeting. Everyone's gathered around. I don't care how long, how tenured. I don't care if you're Juan Soto. You sit your ass down and you're going to talk it out. And we're going to have
Right.
a conversation. We're going to reset expectations. Also, I'm going to stop shaking the lineup up like a fucking chat GPT question because every day Mendoza's putting out a new lineup, which makes no sense. You have Alvarez batting second or third. You have MJ Melendez batting. And I understand, I get what you're trying to do, but doing it every day after each loss, it's like a double-edged sword. I think it's counterproductive, right? It's the same thing
No,
in
no
media
consistency.
buying. I'm going to relate about to back to the
Right.
industry. You jump the gun and you make changes, optimizations to a media plan or a strategy too early before you give things time to run. Like, why change the lineup every night? You're not get people won't be comfortable. They won't feel sustained in that lineup. They won't feel like they have you're seeing different pitches depending on where you are in that lineup, right? Throughout
Right.
the game, as we know, whether you're third or eighth. So like I don't understand that side of it, and it's also like drastically shaken up. It's not just minor shakeups.
Right. Well, it sounds like a microcosm of what the issue is all around, right? Consistency and just like letting it breathe, letting it work,
Yes.
and sticking with a game plan. If you trust in it, it will work. And if
It's
it doesn't,
pressing. Like you're
right.
pressing too much. You're trying to do too much when you, again, seemingly thought you had this talent on the roster. Why don't you let them play?
Right.
Just let them fucking play.
And is there
But
any sort of switch outs that you make full time for guys playing? I also heard something. Am I crazy? Was Juan Soto not with the team when he was hurt?
yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like he was,
Okay, that's not great.
Well, he didn't go on the road trip, but he said he didn't talk to the team, which you shouldn't have said that. Like he wasn't talking to the guys. Like I feel like you should still
Sometimes.
be in touch with them, in my opinion. Shouldn't there be a group chat? Like that's what I point. Like, aren't you guys boys? And like you see some of the changes. I'm looking at AAA. AJ Ewing gets called up to AAA. We talked about him in spring training. He's a Mets top prospect. I know he's like 20 or 21. He's young, but so is Carson Bench. Like second base is a black hole. Marcus Simeon is done. I'm sorry, unless he has a miraculous turnaround, he looks awful at the plate. And I would be inclined to make a shakeup and call up another top prospect that you have who, sure, he's called to AAA, had a great outing in his first AAA game. I think he had 3 hits in his first AAA game, AJ Ewing. But like there's depth there, and there's probably better options, right, than having a Brett Beatty in right field.
Yeah, I mean that's that's when you know things aren't going the way you want them to go. Um, People playing out of position is never a good thing. And to give Semyon a little credit, he is actually hitting just as well as Bo Bichette essentially with his 274 on base. Basically, what 2 points behind Bo Bichette's 276 on base percentage.
Like it's so bad, Ed. When you look at like, are you looking at these numbers? Like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, Soto obviously stands out. But that's because he hasn't played much.
No, right. But like Semyon's your third leading RBI guy. Like
And like
he's
why? And like Brett Beatty, how many? Like him and Mark Vantos, how many times are you gonna roll them out, man? Everyone like Brett Beatty, he's been good his last 5, 6 games. I always hear that. I always hear Brett Beatty's been good his last, but then you see at the end of the year he's hitting 210.
yeah, yeah. And every year it looks like it's going to be his year, and it just seems like it can't quite hack it. So again, it's just time to cut bait, perhaps. Beatty, cut Beatty, but
Yeah, it's not good. And then yeah, I want to go to the Yankees because I'm sick of this nonsense with this team. But like,
I think a
also,
wild trade for you guys. Sorry, a wild
no,
trade
please let me hear it.
like what we did for, and this wasn't necessarily great, but it changed the situation and kind of forced the Yankees to make some changes, right? And I didn't like this trade at the time. It was Gary Sanchez. Um, there was someone else. And why can't I think of? Oh, Gio Urshela
Hmm.
were traded to like right before the season. Were traded to the Twins for Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Both guys could be maybe 1 and 1A on my least favorite Yankees list. Maybe that's not true. Josh Donaldson for sure did not like that guy one iota.
Yeah.
And IKF, I think, did a serviceable job and tried his best, and I applaud him for that, and I don't blame him for not being the perfect player for the moment. But and I love Gary Sanchez. So all these things said, it was one of those things that I felt the Yankees were like, you know what, we just got to shake it up. We need a really elite defender at third base. Gio's good, but we know we need an elite defender at third. And IKF, we don't have a shortstop. He can be our shortstop at least for now until Volpe's ready. And it serves a need, and it's a long-term vision and game plan, right? Because then the plan was we'll shift over to what's his face, Anthony Volpe in the long term. Didn't necessarily solve your third base problem long term, but it was a third base, filler and banking on a guy that maybe could do something, but you could get out from under pretty quickly because again, it was a 1 year deal, right? So instead of doing that with free agents, it almost feels like maybe make a deal like, but I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. That's kind of feels like what you did with
Well, yeah, like what?
Nimmo and Semyon. So
Yeah, like what deal is
I
there
don't know.
even to make, and like who's making a deal
I
this
don't know.
early in the season?
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of teams that are sort of like, this isn't a perfect fit right now. We could do some things, right? But
Like
you're right. It's not going to
who
happen.
wants Mark Vantos and Brett Beatty? Like we've given them time to prove out something, and now they're hitting. And sure, like 26, 27 years old. Like we know guys hit their prime in 28, 29, 30 sometimes, but like how long are you willing to wait?
Yeah.
We've been waiting forever.
No more weighty for Beatty.
No, so I don't know, Ed. It's frustrating, and then also it doesn't help that you have a Peralta who's not performing, hovering around a 4 ERA, and then obviously forget about Kodai Senga, which is insane what's happening there. He just looks absolutely awful. David Peterson too, not great. Clay Holmes actually is our best pitcher, and McLean obviously.
Yeah, Clay Holmes is
He just looks great. He's dominating.
nuts. Yeah.
And considering how bad this team is, and then the bullpen. Forget about the bullpen. It's not the bullpen's
I'll
neither
give
here nor
Tobias
there.
Myers a good shout out. He did some
I love him, but Devin Williams, get him off my team and get him out of New York. Can he just leave? Like he's so bad. He's
I
so
just
bad. Pete Alonso killed him. He killed him.
I just can't believe that people thought somehow this was going to be any different. I don't know what happened,
I
you
like
know?
Luke Weaver though. He's a dog, but like,
Right? See? Gotta love Luke. Has he given up a run yet? Oh, he's given
yo,
up.
yeah, he's gonna run for sure. But like,
Well, yeah, there's a lot. Little to be desired. I wish I had more insights to sort of share or thoughts. I've already wasted enough of your time
no, I want to hear about the Yankees because I can't stand the Mets.
cracking up
And
theories.
you guys have like the best pitching, best area in baseball right now without Garrett Cole, obviously. So a lot is going right. And I know lineup wise, like Ben Rice, Aaron Judge are all dominating. Sure, there's struggles in McMahon and Jazz and a few other guys. I said McMahon, but there's a few other guys. Names are eluding me who are struggling on the offensive end. But I'll let you
Oh,
share.
don't you worry. I will share more of the things I'm frustrated with than all the things I'm happy with.
And
But
that's a
there are
true New York baseball fan speaking for you, Ed.
That's what we're here for, to give some honesty and bring people back down to center. And honestly, I want to go back to the Mets and just say I do think things will improve. It can't be this bad forever.
I hope not.
I just, yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to try because I'm just going to sit here and talk
Well,
in
I do
circles.
appreciate you taking the effort. And the last thing I will say about them is, yes, it's early. Yes, I'm still going to watch, obviously, as a diehard Mets fan. But I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like you hope it's really bad, or they make it really exciting and make it competitive. Because like that in between is the worst place you could be.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. As long as they keep winning games intermittently for the next month, there could be a chance that they put a competitive summer together. You
For the
know,
wild card, division's gone. I
yeah.
remember already saying it.
I don't know why, by the way. I in my predictions earlier in the season, I said Phillies, and I could not. You know what? I think it could still work out. It would be all too poetic if Don Mattingly were to go to the World Series as a Phillies manager and play the Yankees in the World Series, as my predictions would have said. However, I don't know why the Braves weren't like my pick, because the Braves were in so many ways like just waiting to get back to being as great as they are, right? Like that team
Yeah.
only retooled and refueled, it felt like, and added pieces from your major league staff that have only made them look better. So,
Well, I feel like they were a bit of a sleeper. Like I know we were talking about, like I feel like they're missing some guys due to injury from a rotational perspective, obviously, as we know. But like everyone brought on is holding it their own, like a Bryce Elder, a Ronaldo Lopez, Grant Holmes, or borderline, but like a Martin Perez, right? Like random guys, Tyler Kinley and Dylan Lees and Robert Suarez of the world. Their bullpen's amazing, and
right.
Pie Amps, and then I gotta give a shout out, Dom Smith hitting 344.
Jeez, still. Oh my
Four home
God.
runs. Yeah, dude. Four home runs, 17 RBIs. There's nothing to sneeze at anymore. 64 at bats. Like he's
Good
playing.
for him. That's awesome, dude. And he's and he's backing up Matt Olson of all people. I guess he's getting some DH spots, but
100% he's D. He's primarily the DH right now. And like Acuna, dude, is hitting 240. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's not even
wow.
doing anything yet. But it's Olsen, Albies, Drake Baldwin, Dom Smith, and Michael Harris are leading
People
the
have been
charge.
sleeping on Albies too. They were like, he's done, right? So that team is always a sleeper and should never be slept on.
I
But
hate them so much. But okay.
well, it's funny how Tampa is also just hanging around and they do it the opposite way, but are still just such a well-run team that every year I don't know why I don't pick them to finish second or third. But hey, they continue to do what they're doing. And by the way, interesting little tidbit about Tobias Myers. He was traded once upon a time for Junior Caminero. So
Was he?
yeah, the
I
Rays had
didn't.
traded him to Cleveland for Junior Caminero. So there you go. Without Tobias, Junior is not a Ray. Anyway, we get back to the Yankees, who were swept by those Rays a little while ago, and was looking like maybe we were going to come back down to earth after our incredible start.
Sorry, real quick. The Rays always have your number, I feel like, year in, year out.
Oh my God. And when we get them, I'm like, okay, great, we're gonna do well this year. But when they start to, yeah, I know how good that team's gonna be the first game we play them in the season. Like you know when they're gonna be competitive. Last few years we've had their number a little bit more. This year they're back at the Trop. They got that dome power. I don't know what it is, but they did make us look silly a while back. I know that feels like ancient history, though. It's been a while since we've been out here. I'm not going to go over everything, but obviously the Yankees are on a good run. Swept Boston, got Alex Cora fired. Could not be more lovely. Cam Schlittler. putting the final nail in his coffin. Oh God, chef's kiss could not be more beautiful. So things are good in New York. Obviously, we're 20 and 11. We just lost today. Big moment actually talking about our pitching staff doing well. Elmer Rodriguez, our
Saw that.
top-rated pitcher, made his debut. It's like the rich get richer. I sort of don't understand the logic. Maybe they just don't want to keep him back. You know what I mean? Like one of those guys you see the potential in. The longer you hold him back, the less he can improve.
How old is
Maybe
he? He's young, right?
22.
Yeah,
So
he's
it's
young.
like, and again, this is another piece where you go back to like shrewd moves that David Stearns is gonna make again someday, hopefully for you guys. But
Oh,
when we,
I got a ESPN. Da-na-na, da-na-na.
uh-oh, what
Just to
happened?
pour it on. We're down
Yeah,
9-1, Grand Slam. That's what I'm saying. There's no consistency. No, none at all. David Peterson, forget him.
8 nothing win yesterday and 9-1.
Yep. So please continue. At least I know what I'm not watching later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, good thing, excellent time to record.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, I did not get the same luxury of recording during the Yankee game today. For Elmer Rodriguez, poor kid, did suffer the loss in his first game. Didn't look bad, electric arm, walked a few too many. Hadn't given up a hit for a bit, but eventually gave up three and had 2 runs saddled to his name. We lost 3-0. Tough game to close out the road trip in Arlington to those Rangers, who are not all that good either. So, anyway, 8-2 road trip, I think. Finally coming home. It's been a while since they've been at Yankee Stadium. Going to take on the Orioles, who are playing a little better.
Pete
Pete
Alonso.
Alonso just hit his fourth home run not that long ago, which I don't want to see him at Yankee Stadium this many times a year.
He doesn't look that good
Um,
right now, though.
no, but I do assume he'll come back around at some point. It's just crazy too, like so many of these guys like that have gone on, left, come back, whatever for the Mets. I thought Pete would have just been raking, and then like it just goes to show you can't really make sense of baseball and you can't just say, "Oh yeah, this worked out last year, it'll work out next year." Every
Exactly.
year you can't do anything without like 3-year like groupings of sample size, right? Like year to year, man, you can't predict
It's
baseball.
such a
So,
mental game, and I always say that more than any sport, in my opinion. And I think that people underestimate how much that plays a role and takes a toll on a player because life happens, right? And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And like baseball is more mental than any sport because of the lulls and the length of a game and the lapse in time, actually doing something, right? You're sitting alone with your thoughts on the bench during a slump or a struggle, a long haul of a season, middle of August, 90-degree weather, you're in an 0 for 20. Like it's hard to get out of that sometimes.
oh, for sure, dude. It's impossible, honestly. And when you sit around in the field thinking about things that are going on in between at bats, right? I
It's
mean, playing
bad.
softball, I remember having thoughts about things and I'm like, oh, ball hit to my right side, and I like completely whiffed on it because I'm just heads up at the at bat, right? Or what happened last inning, or guy running by me said something I didn't like. It is such a mental game. Every other sport, you don't have time to think, right? You have none,
Exactly.
like you said.
Like life, right?
So yeah,
We overthink and we overdo and we overanalyze and that's why you just got to do and
just do it, baby.
just do it. Like just do the action. Don't think about it. And
That's it.
it's
That's,
baseball. It's
that's
thinking man's
really
game.
Man, just do it, Susan. That's why Nike makes so much money on that stupid ad, but it's absolutely true. And God, I was gonna go somewhere else with that probably too, but I forget because I rant a lot.
No, sorry, I cut you off on that one.
No, 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 you're good. So it's just wait, what did we just say? Why am I changing
We
my
were talking about the young talent in Elmer.
Elmer
Oh,
Rodriguez?
coming back after the long road trip. Pete Alonso and the Orioles coming to town.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to talk about ABS because it's something that I feel like is disrupting the flow of the game right now
Yes, too
to a
much.
degree that's like pissing me off. Like I'm just so frustrated with it, and I'm wondering if that's getting in some guys' heads this year as opposed to many in the past. I don't know. Because now that's another thing to think about, right? Do I want to challenge that? No, I shouldn't challenge that. Oh, I should have challenged that. You know what I mean? Like, so now you're constantly second guessing yourself at the plate. I'm just
100%.
curious how much that's affecting guys. So as I talk about ABS and people challenging it, Jose Caballero is going to be an interesting story for the Yankees. All right. He's currently our third best everyday player as far as WAR goes, right? Just behind Judge and Ben Rice. He's actually tied with Cody Bellinger at a 1.2 WAR right now. 12 stolen bases, 4 caught stealing. Started really, really slow, but has 3 home runs now, hitting 265, like playing a great shortstop. But he's got this thing where he um, challenges quite a few calls at the plate. and has a pretty good record with it. Don't get me wrong. He was the first, right, to do it in baseball history, like in Major League Baseball. So he's now, I think, got, if I'm not mistaken, the most challenges in the league so far.
Really?
He does this thing where he waits. Have you seen this? He like stares at the plate until 8 seconds are left on the pitch clock when he has to engage with the pitcher. So he's now controlling when the pitcher gets to throw the ball. So it's like this very like this mind game that he's playing, and he got burned on one because he was actually too late and got a third strike called against him in pitch clock violation. So stuff that you love to see the energy coming from a guy like Caballero. But here's the interesting thing: I'm bringing up all these numbers and saying how impactful he's been because guess who's on his way back?
Who?
Anthony Volpe,
I was
the
waiting for that.
Volpinator,
Yeah, of
baby, the
course, your
Fox.
guy. That's your guy.
My guy.
Your
No,
guy.
it's little Brett Gardner. No, Volpe at this juncture is a problem
I
that I
want him
do
at
not want to
second. I'll
deal
take him
with.
at second base at this
Oh, I
point.
mean, yeah, you could have him. Yeah, oh, there you go. Outside the box thinking. Who do you want to give us? We'll take,
You
we'll
could have
consider some
anyone. I don't
pieces.
give a shit. You could take anyone.
All right, we'll take Soto and you retain 90% of the salary.
Well, maybe not that deal. I wouldn't
All
take
right,
that
cool.
deal.
Anyway, but beyond that, Volpe's coming back, so it's a good problem to have, but a problem nonetheless. And right now, for this Yankee team, I think what better fits our makeup is a guy like Caballero. He brings an element to the game that Volpe doesn't have. It's not, he doesn't have that edge. He doesn't have that fire. He doesn't have that spice, for lack of a better term.
Mm, a
Yes, he's a Panamanian player. Maybe that's why I'm calling it spicy. I don't know. The reality
little
is
spicy.
he brings an energy that Volpe could, but Volpe needs time, or I don't know. I don't know. It's just not his motor. You've seen him talk. Some guys just have the, oh, shucks, guys, I'm a good baseball player and I'm happy to be here,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I'm sure he's quietly fiery and all that, but Caballero's been a really nice piece for us, and obviously not the story, but it is a story that will develop. Because really, on a team that's going as well as the Yankees are right now, what do you have to complain about, and what do you have to really suggest as far as improving it? Right? We do still strike out too much, so if there's anything like that you want to discuss, we need to stop striking out. But again, they have their philosophy. They'll go with it. As we said, the Yankees stick to it. Even if you tell them you could just adjust this, tweak that little thing. Nope, we know better. We'll keep doing what we do. And, a little engine that could continues on down the path. So, not little engine, I guess the machine continues to stay well oiled. Ryan McMahon, right? You mentioned him. We've had a third base void for I don't know how long. It would be really nice to have a guy that can hit consistently, a Machado type, right? Like going
Great
back all
glove,
those
though.
years.
Great glove.
So good. And this is where sometimes, and this is what we're talking about with the Mets too, and all baseball, sometimes you salivate over the guy that can hit, right? But sometimes you just need to get the guy that plays that position well enough and fill in the rest of it elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
You don't need superstars at every position. You don't need them to be the best hitter at it, but you do want a third baseman who's not hitting 174, right? You want over the Mendoza line for lack, sorry to use that in
That's
this
okay.
situation.
Low
The
blow.
Mendoza line is going to mean something different by the end of this year.
Yeah.
But hitting over 200 would be big. Obviously had a big walk-off walk the other day or not long ago, and has had some moments. He had a big home run in Houston. He's just you're just waiting for something to come back up to average or like you're right, advance to the mean for lack of a better term. Um, but beyond that, there's really not a whole lot you can complain about as far as the offense goes. Obviously, Grisham could be hitting better, but still playing a great defensive center field. And Ben Rice and Aaron Judge are the first teammates in baseball history to have 20 walks and 10 home runs each before the end of the first calendar month. So, we got some good pieces in the middle of that lineup.
Dude, Ben
Cody
Rice is
Bellinger.
is a surprise to me. I mean, numbers he's putting up. I mean, you didn't expect that out of a guy like Ben Rice. Sure, you expected improvement in him to like be a stud and be a star. I know that people are talking about that, but like those numbers, do you think
Dude,
are they sustainable?
are you forgetting our first podcast? You don't remember my great predictions?
I remember the
Benny Rice,
predictions.
Ben Arroz was going to be top five in the MVP vote, I said.
I mean, hey, that's a great call so far, being a fifth of the way, but still got a long way to go, Ed. Still got a
A
long way to
long way to
go.
go. I'm just saying, I think it is sustainable because you look at his body, dude, and this is where old school scouting comes in. He's
Hmm,
just a fucking thick boy, bro. Like he is
he
a
is.
thick bowl of rice. Like that kid, is stacked. He has command of the strike zone. He's not over swinging out of his shoes. He consistently drives the ball hard. And I think hard hit rate is the best indicator of like long-term success, right? For a hitter these days. Not exit velo, none of that. Well, I guess that is kind of similar, but hard hit rate, over launch angle, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and again, he just seemingly gets better year in, year out, continues to work hard at first base, is getting at bats even against lefties, right? And is starting to take advantage of those. So you really like to see that. And again, going back to like what other things are working for the Yankees, even Aaron Judge, sorry to bring this up, but he started off brutally, right? Like was not hitting very well at all, was hitting in the low 200s. He's now back up to 262 with a 392 on base,
He'll be fine.
12 home runs, right? So
It's Aaron
you
Judge.
got right. So again, all those things are great. Giancarlo Stanton had a nice start, got hurt. Hopefully he can come back healthy. He just went on the IL. See how that goes. But a big piece, and this is where I'm talking about bench. I know I told you Randall Grichuk is your next left fielder for the Mets because he's out there and available for you, but because we just cut him. But and thank you for your time served, Randall. He collective 194 for the Yanks. The big guy for us though, and our bench being as deep as it is this year is a guy that's probably going to hurt your heart a little bit.
Let me hear it. Ahmed?
Ahmed Rosario.
Of
This
course.
dude is so he's clutch, dude. He's clutch. There's just something about him where he's like the perfect he's Luis Soho. He's that guy that I was saying. We need this dude who's not like perfect. He's not a superstar. He can just do exactly what he's expected to do in that moment. And my God, dude, he's come through with flying colors. The game against Oakland a while back saved our again early season, if you want to claim that, when we were looking like we were getting in a rough stretch. Um, Saved it with two home runs, big home runs, had another clutch one. He's hit four on the season already in just 20 games and 63 plate appearances. Plays the left side of the infield really strongly. Again, just veteran presences where what we had been lacking for so long. And like we had no real game plan for that bench
Hmm.
or anybody beyond our, three, four, five guys, right, in the lineup. So all that said, you got to feel pretty good about the lineup.
Yeah, and that guy, Amin Rosario, being an ex-Met, is the kind of guy like exactly who we'd want on our team right now, right? Instead of a Brett Beatty, instead of
Yeah.
a Marcus Simeon, like that's the kind of guy you slot in as a filler. Like we just don't have the right depth pieces and utility pieces alongside your so-called superstars in town. I think that is a good point you make. Is like sure you have these guys you sign long term as stars and superstars and rejuvenation projects and whatever it may be, but at the end of the day, your depth is the same year over year, and there's no change to it, and nothing is done to course correct.
And that's the thing. Sometimes you have to deal from that pool of talent for like one little piece. Like this is what's fascinating about Stearns is I sort of had this belief, knowing what I had seen with Milwaukee, is that he was going to get these like really shrewd deals done and like kind of win deals that you're like, why are they even making that trade? You know what I mean? And it makes you wonder with a big market, like, does Steve Cohen say, you're not allowed to make that deal? Like, I don't care if you know what you're doing, you're not allowed to make that deal.
Mm.
Or did he have some guy under him because they continue to make these deals and that work out for them that was really kind of the shining star that he just got credit for?
Yeah,
I don't know. But the reason I bring that up is because even Ahmed Rosario is just a really interesting deal that Brian Cashman made last year, right? You remember Joey Gallo?
of course. He pitches
Now,
now.
now he's a pitcher. Yeah, exactly. So Joey Gallo a few years ago we traded for. I won't give up the package that we did, but we traded a few really good pieces to Texas, right? Ezekiel Duran, Josh Smith, whatever. Guys that beat us today, actually. And we were like, oh, Joey Gallo, he'll feel great with Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. Like wonderful lefty hitter at Yankee Stadium. Dude couldn't buy a hit his way out of a wet paper bag, hit his weight, whatever you want to come up with.
Hmm.
I saw like one great walk-off home run that just barely snuck over the wall and hit the foul pole at Yankee Stadium by Joey Gallo. Thank you again, Joey. Point is, and a massive fart during, COVID.
Oh, that still gets me every time.
And I don't hate Joey Gallo. I feel bad for the guy, and he was a good sport. But all this to say, when we wanted to get out from Joey Gallo, what did we do, right? How did we get rid of him? What did we like? We traded him to the Dodgers. I didn't think anybody was going to give us anything for him, right? We got Clayton Beeter back, right? Clayton Beeter. He pitches now for the Nationals. Do you know why he pitches for the Nationals? Because we traded him for Ahmed Rosario. These deals that you're just sort of like, what the fuck ever? Who cares? You know what? Why does that matter? That's why they matter. And that's why you
Exactly.
deal from depth. That's why you deal from guys that you were never going to get anything from Joey Gallo anyway. You look at that piece as, if he turns into something for the Nationals, great. But for me, that's just a piece that you were like, well, this was free money anyway. Here you go. And that's what I wonder if there's a lack of creativity there for
It
the
is,
Mets now.
and to add to that, what the Mets do, and that's a good point you make, is a lot of times they get rid of their top prospects. They get rid of like actual guys who haven't proven or been at the big league level yet, like a Jet Williams. Obviously, I hate to bring it up, but a PCP, right? I
Yep.
mean, sorry, a PC, not
PCA.
not PCP,
You need
PCA.
some PCP to get through the rest of the
I mean, at
season.
this point, I'll take anything to get through the season. But yeah, a PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. That we know how that went for us. Um, the point I'm trying to make is like instead of dealing a guy like a Ronnie Mauricio and a Beatty and a Mark Vientos, or even over the years, Eduardo Escobar's and Drupal Cabrera's guys at the end of the road of their career, even a Marcus Semien who might be dealt or Jorge Polanco might be dealt, who knows? Um, they end up just dealing prospects, and they end up
Yep.
just dealing guys who are like, oh well, they're not here yet, they're still young, like, it's gonna take time, let's just get rid of them and get guys who are proven and can play now.
Yep.
But that doesn't always work. You got rid of Drew Gilbert.
Yep.
He's been solid in San Francisco. I don't know what his numbers are this year, but the back end of last year he was tearing up and he got called up, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, man, like in my eyes, it's like you think like a Beatty and Vientos and Alvarez and Mauricio are all proven big leaguers, but they're really not. Vientos, yeah, his one season in 2024 and his playoff run was pretty epic, we know. But outside of that, what's the track record? Inconsistent, injured, average at best, below average actually. Like, why not look to deal one of those guys earlier when they were still younger, which still young, but like you could have gotten rid of Beatty 2 years ago and gotten much more back for him. Same with Vientos. Alvarez, I still am always been soft spot for him, as you know, because he had a lot of injuries and he's still younger than the rest of the pack and he's a good catcher. So I don't know. I guess just the Mets, they need to be more creative. They need to do something different. They need to actually make these little trades that make moves. Instead, what they do too, that they think is creative, is just re-sign like a Tommy Pham, right? Or re-sign, or bring back a Jared Young. Like
Right.
you're bringing back the wrong guys. Like when they did Daniel Vogelback and Darren Ruff. Like I don't understand where the thought process is behind some of these guys that bring in.
Like they go back to the well too many times on a few too many
Yeah, like DFA guys,
misfit
guy.
cast-offs. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
why do you think they're getting let go from other teams? Like
Right. And it's one thing if they do something that you know specifically they can do well for you, right? Like you need this one attribute out of that player and you get that out of them, great. Like I get doing that. But at some point, you can't just keep trying to fill holes and plug holes. You need to make something a little bit more for the long term or at least have a vision. I don't think Ahmed Rosario was meant to be more than a half season acquisition. But he gets in here, they like him, he likes it here. Okay, great. Here's another deal. Here's another year deal. Like those things matter. Those pieces matter, right? And I think making kind of not the splashiest moves might be the best move right now for the Mets, right?
yeah,
Not going big contracts, not going with like a 30-year-old journeyman like for a piece where you need it. Not for your full-time guy, right? But like finding those guys that can actually do these jobs. And I'm saying this in an ideal scenario, it works obviously, and this is not like a solve all kind of solution, right? Clearly. Um, but it just seems like there's a lack of creativity or a swing for the fences kind of mentality that I think is actually getting in the way for the Mets at this juncture.
hundred
And
percent.
and again, because you're swinging for the fences, saying Juan Soto's making too much money, and then we're gonna suddenly just like cheap out on this. Go all in, don't go all in. But this is where I always say money's more of a problem. It doesn't solve everything. It doesn't account for good scouting. It doesn't account for good utilization of your pieces and players. It's all just fucking. It's just numbers, dude. Like you really do need character guys. You need a good cohesive unit that works together and has been together for a minute. So
You
I
need a
say don't
team.
give up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a team. You need a team, but you can't give up on it and you got to have consistency throughout the system. So I don't know. I don't know. Is like development letting you down at some point? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's a mix. I think it's a mix of a lot of things, right? It's the front office, it's management, it's the players that they brought in, it's
yeah,
development. I think it's a lot of the bench coaches and the options that you brought in as, new hitting coaches and pitching coaches and shaking up so much. Like, why is Jeremy Hefner out in Atlanta? Look what he's doing in Atlanta.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I just don't
Right.
understand.
Why give
I,
up, or why cheap out on a pitching coach? Right? Like that's a good example too, right? Or
I
yeah,
don't get it. I just don't get it. And yeah, well, I guess, to wrap everything in a bow here. I don't even know how to do it for the Mets. As you can see, I'm defeated. And this isn't me. Like I just am so it takes so much out of me to talk about this team right now, especially when I know they're losing 9-1 and back of my mind they're gonna be 10-20.
I was gonna
And
say you were feeling better before this 9-1 game.
I know now I'm all out of it.
Give
And
me
like
some optimism.
it's tough to watch and sad to see because year over year you think it's going to be different. Sure, you have your moments, 2015, 2016, I guess, obviously 2022 crashed and burned, but it was a great season. 2024 more recently was magical and one of the best seasons I've seen in the last decade, but it's just the same thing on repeat. There's no consistency. I have a bad feeling about the season. I really don't know if there is anything to stabilize this team outside of maybe some sort of gutting of management or players or front office pieces or whatever it is. So I guess time will tell. I just don't know if this is the season we're going to be a contender. I know it's early, but all signs are not pointing to that, obviously, in
Give
this
the
moment.
people hope, Alec. Give the people hope.
No, you know what? I'm being realistic tonight, and I'm level setting the fact that there is no hope. Because I'm hoping, you know what I'm trying to do? The
Yeah,
reverse
yeah,
jinx, the
I know exactly
superstition.
what's happening. Just lean into the misery and then it'll all work out.
Oh, it's never good. They're gonna be so bad. They're gonna be like 1962 Mets.
Dude, it's surprising. I think that again, there's more life to them than that, and because there are a lot of older guys and more veteran guys, maybe they just need more time to thaw out and get back into it.
Yeah, wait till the summer. Then they go on 20
Yeah,
game win streak in July, and they get
work
your hopes up, and then they crash and burn in August.
so that is actually very feasible, and I would probably put most of my whatever money I have on it.
I don't want that. To my point, I said it's either one way or the other. I don't want this middle.
No,
Either be really bad and be out of the race by August and call it a day and sell shop at the deadline, and I'm just coasting, having a nice summer myself, and or go on a 20 game win streak, 15 game win streak, or you win 20 out of 25 and you're back in the race and you consistently play good ball the second half. But I think there's a stat dating back to August of last year, if I'm not mistaken, and they're almost 30 games under 500. It's bad.
that's brutal. Yeah. All right, so half the tenure Mendoza has been that bad, yeah, and with two different sets of
It's
yeah.
interesting. It's interesting though. Yeah, two different sets of players essentially.
Someone's got to come out with an expose that's like close to that clubhouse and like have something to say. I'm shocked nothing's leaked, and just been like, oh, here it's just like a malaise or like it sounds like Mendoza doesn't talk to anybody, but everything points to they love him and it's all good. And the Red Sox all loved Cora, right? Like all these things. I don't know if the Phillies loved Rob Thompson or not. That always felt like a weird mismatch, but
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. But
right, like I can see John Schneider down there, not Rob Thompson, but. Anyway, it's going to be interesting. And I don't know if you heard about the Phillies too. They actually reached out to Alex Cora for the managerial
that is
vacancy,
interesting.
right? Odd, I thought, but makes sense, I guess, considering Dave Dombrowski, who was running the show in Boston, hired him in Boston, and is now running the show in Philly. So I guess that makes sense. But Preston Mattingly is the GM. Don Mattingly's son is the general manager. So there you go. Some connection there.
What are your last parting words on just Yankee baseball and New York baseball as a whole, if you have any?
I mean, I guess the other thing is pitching's looking really fantastic. Elmer Rodriguez is in the fold. Luis Gil has been sent down. Let's see if he can regain it. The bullpen's looking like it's rounding into shape a little bit, which is nice. Brent Hedrick has been really good. Tim Hill has been Tim Hill, right? Bednar's been, but everybody's been exactly what you would hope they would be. So you're just hoping that there's no other shoe to drop, right? Fried and Schlittler leading that lineup, or with 209 and 151 ERAs after 7 starts respectively, pretty damn good. Both over 40 innings pitched in those starts. So yeah, man, it's Ryan Weathers has been a really nice pickup. Again, one of
I
those
knew
under
he
the
would.
radar,
Yeah.
right? You deal 4 guys who really are not your top prospects. So again, not to give Brian Cashman too much credit, but sometimes these moves are again, people panned the Yankees all year long. You're finally seeing what the vision was to just let it work, let it breathe, let it have a chance to actually grow. And Will Warren, last thing I wanted to say, because I'm gonna just keep going back to my early season predictions. Will Warren is apparently a candidate to be dropped out of the rotation once Rodon and Cole are back. I think that would be a mistake. I think Weathers is your better bet to go down into the bullpen. I'd rather keep Will Warren in the starting rotation, just because he's done it more consistently, healthier, and his peripheral numbers are actually somehow slightly better than what Ryan Weathers has done so far. So, all that said, really good. Oh, by the way, I did go to a Yankee game right after my birthday, and that was the night Ryan Weathers started and gave up 3 home runs before I even got into the ballpark.
Happy
So
birthday to you.
yeah, of all the season, I went to probably the worst loss of it. So that was
Isn't that
pretty.
funny how that works out? Well, for me, if I haven't been out to City Field yet, by the way, which is
It's been kind of miserable too. Like any of
the
the good
weather.
games
Yeah,
have been so cold, and like when it's nice weather, they're on the road.
it's cheap.
Yeah.
I will say it's cheap though. You could sit behind home plate. I saw like last minute it was like $25, 50, like 15 rows back,
Oh,
weeknight, obviously, but
dude, we
like,
need to do a $25 Met game in the middle. Yeah, absolutely. We should wear bags on our heads, kind of thing.
oh, we'll be on TV.
Hell yeah, dude.
Done.
I'm into it.
I mean, hey,
And
yeah,
and then I'll
we'll,
pull off
we'll
mine and my Yankee hat will be on.
I'll pull off mine. I'll just be crying.
Yeah, and it'll say I'm with stupid or something. Like,
Yeah, I'm with this idiot.
oh.
I don't know, Ed. I guess the last thing I will say here is it's still early, and this is the piece I was going to say. If they want the optimism from me, you'll get a little bit here. To make history, I'm going to botch this saying, but basically, no team has
To
made the
make
playoff.
history, you got to be shitty for a while
Well,
first.
yeah, like no team has ever made the playoffs after a 12 game losing streak, and history is made somehow, some way.
Mm,
And
that's
this is
true.
the kind of thing, like many other streaks and curses and historical milestones that are made. This is how it happens. Someone's got to do it. So
Yeah.
maybe it'll be the Mets. Maybe it won't be. I'm not optimistic, but you never know. And, regardless, we're in it. We're always in it. We're New York baseball fans. We're invested. We're going to keep watching. We're going to get out to games, Ed, you and I. We're going to go for cheap. We'll do the food. We'll see the sights, drink a lot of beer. All I know is right now I need to go for a walk and like clear my head because I'm frustrated, man. But, this was episode 30. And that's cool. This is the Big Apple battle. You see where I'm at? I'm all over the place, man.
It's all good.
No,
Honestly, it's better to have this moment for when, you can eventually celebrate. So call this rock bottom, man. It can't get much worse.
yeah, it could always get worse. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it could, but it's gonna get better. I know. Will. Got to stay positive. Got to stay on it. Westchester Nationals. We're 1-1. We're playing baseball Sunday. That's where my head's at now. It's game time. Let's go. And
Can't wait. And the Washington Nationals lead 9-1. It's all great. It all comes full circle.
yeah, I guess so. But with that, Ed, that's episode 30 of the Big Apple Battle, a New York baseball podcast, and 20% through the season, Bronx are bombing. Queens is on fire. Um, but we don't
Queens is
quit.
quitting.
There's no
Oh,
there's
Queens
no
don't
quitting in
quit.
this
Oh,
town, baby.
okay.
You know that. So we're back.
No
Remember
quitting Queens.
remember to listen, rate, review, like, subscribe, email. You never do, but we hope you do. But we're back in action and we're going to be recording and getting some more things on the books here in a couple weeks. So yeah, just follow along for the journey and let's see if the Mets turn it around and the Yankees flop.
If for any reason you don't see Alec on the other end of this podcast sometime, don't worry. He's fine. He's just, again, locked up in some form of insane asylum. So
Exactly. Or I
there's
jumped in
no
the
heaven rules.
Hudson River with a couple weights on my feet. Just out there going for a night swim, nothing crazy. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to give the people an idea that you'd be okay. All
oh, I
right.
will be okay. I'll probably just move to like another country
You'll
and change
Houdini
my
it
name and social security and everything, my whole identity, all that good stuff.
for the best.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but nonetheless, Ed,
You'll
baseball's
get it
here.
right someday.
Baseball's here, and David Wright will be the manager of this team before I die. Mark my words, and that is where I'm hanging my hat on tonight, which is something, I guess. So with that, we'll be back, fellas and boys and girls.
We're getting this train back on track. Don't worry here, boys, girls, ladies, gents,
Bring us
whoever
home,
you
Ed.
might
I
be,
am
cats,
down bad.
dogs, all baseball fans of all walks of life. Come on down to the Big Apple Battle to get your best talk of baseball in this great town. Yeah, that's it.
That's
Yankees is
it.
on. The Yankees are the Yankees. The Mets are the Mets. All is right with the world, except for when it isn't. But hey, at least in baseball, all makes sense, and we'll live to fight another day, right?
Right. And you know what? I'm optimistic in the sense of at least I'll get out to a game for a good hot dog and a beer and try, get my good food in from the City Field concessions that we know is top tier. While the team can't play on the field, off the field, the grub is good. So we'll take it where we could get it. And with that, fellas, boys and girls, I don't know,
Ladies, gents, cats, dogs,
don't know
everybody
why I
that
keep
lives
doing
life, all
that.
walks of life.
We got to
Marshall,
log off. We got to go to bed. But
get
peace
the hell
out.
out of here.
Let's go.
This ball is crushed. Man, what a shot.